Good afternoon and welcome to the School District of Osceola County's scheduled Facilities and Real Estate Update Workshop for Tuesday.
Woo! Yes, my favorite workshop.
For Tuesday, October 28th, 2025, it will be led by Dave Sharma, our Chief Facilities Officer, Joan Van Sickle, Director of Design and Construction, and Rhonda Blake, Director of Planning Services. Dr. Shanoff, would you like to do any kind of introduction?
Yeah, thank you, Madam Chair. Board members, in truly cross-functional style, Dr. Clayton will be delivering today's facilities board workshop. It's a pleasure to introduce Mr. Sharma, who's gonna provide the board with an update on our facilities program. I want to just take a moment and compliment our facilities team. There are very few teams within the state that have to continue to work through the challenges of growing districts. You're seeing a lot of contraction occur in other districts across the state and across the nation. That simply isn't the case here in Osceola County, where, as we heard yesterday from an elected official, that Osceola County is the 8th fastest growing county in the country. So in order to keep up with that growth, we have to make sure that our facilities are in top-notch shape, our existing facilities, but then simultaneously we dedicate ourselves to a building program that is representative of choice, but also representative of what education is going to look like in the future. And so we have a very forward-thinking facilities team. It's certainly not all Mr. Sharma. In fact, I would say it has little to do with Mr. Sharma and has much to do with the rest of his team. And I think he would be the first to admit that as well. However, somebody has to lead the department, and it happens to be him, and he does do a great job. Mr. Sharma?
Thank you. That's quite an introduction. Good afternoon, board members, Dr. Shanoff. I'm actually excited for this presentation. I think from time to time we need to take the opportunity to tell our story, not just to the board, but to the community as well, because we do spend taxpayer dollars, local taxpayer dollars in our facilities, and I think it's important for us to tell the story about how that is done, why it's done, and how we think we're doing a really good job at spending it. In terms of, as I go through this presentation, I'd like for you to keep in mind the alignment portion of our strategic plan, where the facilities team, our sole function is to support the core business, which is educating our students. And it's not lost on us. We can tell you all day about the research on how air quality in our schools can impact cognitive function or attention spans, minimize health issues if done right. It can impact behavioral issues and teachers' effectiveness. You talk about teachers' attendance, student attendance, and we have seen proof of how the projects we do impact the outcomes. And I think today, as we go through this, you'll see how much work we've done over the last 6 months. I think the last time we did an update for the board was the end of March, earlier this year. So from this presentation is basically from that point on to now. So the agenda is structured. It is a long presentation, but I can go through it really quickly because I'm using photographs to tell a lot of the stories. But overall, the facilities program budget, looking at our major projects in terms of the new openings that we did last summer, what is in construction, our summer projects, smaller projects that we did, and then a quick real estate update and some updates on portables. The facilities program budget is currently $691 million, and that's down significantly, roughly about $300 million from when we last updated, and that's because we're closing out projects. As we bring the final change orders, and you're seeing those with the CFIs that come to the board, we're taking those off the books, and so that's what's taking our numbers down. We're not really putting a new school into construction to impact this. Projects in planning, primarily for PM Wells Center for Academic Excellence and Osceola County School for the Arts, a bus road that needs to be built, which we're making significant progress on. Those are what we're working on. New projects that we budgeted in this financial year are now getting kicked off. A lot of athletic programs, athletic facilities that are going to get redone, and several HVAC projects that are now being put into design. Projects that are currently in design, the largest of it is a school that's sitting on the books for the Roan Bridge subdivision. We still can't move that project forward because the developer is not able to get their permits and get that site ready for us. It is a school that we absolutely need to build in the near future because the surrounding schools are at capacity. We have several projects that are in design that will be constructed next year, most of which are HVAC projects, fire alarm replacements, and a few athletic facilities. Projects in construction, the largest of which is high school AAA, and we'll give you an update on all of these. OXA comprehensive renovation, Cross Prairie K8, just the final photographs because we finally wrapped that project up and turned it over to the school. Think it's going really well. Reed Creek, Transportation West, and several HVAC projects that we completed. We updated the map. You're looking at roughly 80+ projects in the box in the bottom of your screen, but those essentially tell the story of how many schools we're working in. We have multiple projects in schools in some cases, but we are working across the district as needs arise. We're very targeted in how we're doing our projects. It's the projects that cost most money, the breakdowns that cost the most time and money that we're targeting. So we're working with our operations department to figure out which projects would have the largest impact on our operating budget, and we're trying to fix those. So I'll take you through the summer 2025 opening. Of course, the largest one is Cross Prairie K8. The school came out really well. We've been out there several times. I think they're at roughly about 1,100 students enrolled in a 1,455 student capacity school. Our projections were that they were going to be around 800. Last update that we got, 300 students came back from charter schools to Cross Prairie K8. It's clearly making the impact that we wanted it to. Here are some photographs of just what the front looks like. Covered play areas, bus loop. One of the most efficient HVAC systems that we have in the district, which drives down our operating cost over time. A CTE lab for the middle school portions. A photograph on your left is the music room. It's one of the only places that we have carpet because we're using LVT throughout to help again, it's an operational decision, but it does not require waxing, so it's pretty much a clean and a wipe every year, multiple times, but in order to reset for summer. Photograph on your right is the gymnasium. The media center, we had our first BAB meeting in here. We just toured the BAB members through the school last week. But what you're looking at is our new furniture standards that we're using, more breakout spaces, couches, nooks. So it came out really well. We're seeing quite a bit of use, and a photograph of a restroom as well. The next school that we did operationalize, which was, our team did a phenomenal job, so did our contractor partners and our architect, is to operationalize the PM Wells Center for Academic Excellence, which we had to do in about 6 weeks from the time we acquired the property to getting it done. Most of the work was spent around life safety issues like fire alarm system, intercom, getting the fencing right, correcting ADA issues, lighting issues in the parking lot, and we were successfully, we repainted the entire facility, the interior of the facility, fixed a lot of the items that needed to be fixed, like repair lights, ceiling tiles. We did build a new secure lobby for it to meet our standards. The photograph on your left is a ramp that is required to get access to the parking lot, and the cafeteria space that was turned over to the school. There is a second phase to this, and we're currently getting a proposal from our architect, which would really, now that we know what programs go into which spaces, we're going to do the unique bits of work that need to be done to accommodate our students' needs. And so that's going to be the next phase that we're going to go into. The last time we met in March, we were just about the tail end of this project, so we were never able to present final photographs for the East Osceola Transportation and Operations, so I just kind of wanted to go through that quickly. Photograph on your left is the restroom pavilion that is very close to the bus parking area so that our bus drivers don't have to go all the way back to the building in order to find a restroom. Photograph on your right is the fueling facility as well as a bus wash. You can see photographs of these photographs show where we're servicing buses at that location. We are doing what we said we would do, which is improve efficiency. We've brought the servicing out there. We have roughly 77 buses running out of that facility already, shortening the windshield time. Those buses ideally would have ran out of Simpson Road, so we're cutting down all of those mileage and all those buses off of the road twice a day. Break room spaces, the big one is the one on your right, which is a driver's lounge. There is a gap in between when our drivers come back from the morning to leave for the afternoon shift, and we're providing a comfortable area for them to just hang out, do whatever work they need to do. But that's one of the things that we're setting ourselves apart with. We built a CDL training room, which is one of the things that we do to recruit drivers. We are the people that get you CDL certified, so you want to come drive for us. This facility mirrors the one that will be built in transportation for the West facility, and I'll show you photographs of where those are. Projects that are in construction, the largest obviously is High School AAA. It's a mammoth project. We did have a tour there last week. The project is on schedule, moving along really well. Air conditioning is about to be turned on the permanent air conditioning system is expected to be turned on towards the end of this year. The roofs are in, all the windows are in, interior work is happening. The chillers are about to show up on site, but at the bottom of your photograph, you're looking at ice storage tanks. And that's one of the energy efficiency things that components that we included in this project. The idea is that overnight, when energy is cheaper, we will make ice and store them in those tanks. And during the day when it's really hot and energy cost is at its highest, we will use that ice to cool the facility. And that is how we will end up saving money on our energy bills through the life of this facility. So it's one of the unique things that we did there. It's a photograph of the athletic facilities. Bleachers are in, site lighting's in, the track is being built. We're expecting the grass to be put down in all of our athletic fields to be put down by the end of the year. So it'll give us roughly about 6 months of growing time. So when students show up in the new school year, they can actually go onto the fields and play. So we're timing all of that well. Bus loops asphalt being put down, that's what you're seeing here. A couple of photographs of the inside. It shows you that most of the overhead work's done, wrapped up. That's actually final paint on the wall going on. Ceiling grid in many areas. We're looking at the music rooms being installed and storage spaces being installed. Photograph on your left is that's slide 34, I'm sorry, I should have been keeping up with the slide numbers. It's a photograph of the media center. The visit we had last week was with Addition Financial, and this would be their 4th location that they'll be opening a bank at. So we were able to find a space for them, and we will accommodate them so that when we open the school, the bank will be operational as well. The photograph on your right in slide 34 shows the auditorium. That is a false ceiling as we do the overhead work similar to what's happening in this auditorium. There's a lot above those sun clouds that you see, lighting and all of the infrastructure that goes in and gets covered over. That's what's being built. The photograph on your right on slide 35 shows you the cafeteria space. And we've worked through what the layout of the new furniture will look like using our new standards. Slide 36 shows you the gymnasium, which is coming along really well. Overall, we're making significant progress. We are on schedule and we have worked with the county. Slide 37 shows you a temporary access to get us onto the school. We did this as a plan, 4th option. This is our 4th option to get access to the school in the event that the permanent road was not built in time. We have been working closely with Osceola County and City of St. Cloud to build Bluebird Parkway. We were assured that there is no need for us to do this temporary access road, that they will have the access built on time for us to open the school. So we finalized those agreements a few weeks ago, and we are looking forward to that happening. We do have access to the facility for our FF&E delivery anything else that we need through our bus loop, because we're building that, which connects to the transportation depot. The next large project is Osceola County School for the Arts, a comprehensive renovation. You can see on slide 38, the new building is up. Importantly for us is that our plan is to move students out of those portables that they're in right now on the track into those classroom spaces in the new 3-story classroom building over the Christmas break this year. And that is our huge push. So all hands on deck. We are so far on schedule to do that. We are also planning to pull those portables out and restore the track. And then the final phase would be from January of 2026 to the summer of 2026 when we wrap that project up. There are some photographs that I can show you. So we did turn over a phase this summer of 2025, and these are photographs of, slide 40 shows you the cafeteria spaces. Our new furniture standard, you see a lot of couch spaces, high tops. These are our new standards, and from our research, it shows that we will increase the amount of students using the cafeteria significantly just by changing the look and feel of the spaces, and that's our drive here. The photograph on slide 41 to your right shows purple floors, and the school has existing colors, so we're able to incorporate their colors into the flooring in several spaces, and that's building 1. We're renovating portions of building 1, which we have turned over, which you're looking at in slide 42. These were spaces that have been renovated and turned back over to the school. Slide 43 shows you 2 of 3 dance rooms that were turned over to the school. We're not showing all of them, but there were music spaces, chorus rooms that were opened and turned over. So they are already in new spaces that have been renovated, and they're getting the benefits of those. Slide 44 is pretty interesting. The photograph on your left shows the auditorium, which the floor of which we had to raise 9 feet in order to get it out of the water table. This is the next really significant phase after the new building gets open this Christmas break. The plan is to wrap the auditorium up and turn it over in April of 2026 to the school. That's the next big turnover that we're looking at. West Osceola Transportation Operation, on schedule. The crane you see on the bottom right of your photograph is the crane that's building the bridge that we need to build. This morning's update from our contractor and our project manager is that the bridge is on schedule, so our plan is to open the facility in April of 2026 as we planned. You're looking at photographs of the buildings up, dried in, interior works happening, fueling facilities being installed, bus wash. It's very similar, almost the mirror image of the east facility. The slide 48 shows you photographs of the bus service bays.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am.
Could you remind me of the completion date of West Side, the West Transportation Center?
It's, I don't know the exact date, but it's April of 2026.
April 26th?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
No worries. Slide 49 shows you the CDL room, very similar to the east facility. So a lot of those components you can see start happening. Ceiling tiles are being dropped. Slide 50 shows you Reedy Creek Elementary School. That's where we'll transition to. We put down the first lift of asphalt on the parking lot, new parking lot, but the school's up. The roof is being wrapped up. Windows are going in, and these photographs are a little bit behind because they're working so fast. The concrete on the first floor has been poured, and progress is being made on framing and MEP, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing installations. Our chiller actually showed up really early, and it's installed on site already. So we're ahead of the game. There is a small 2-story building that's being renovated, and that will serve as a few classrooms as well as an ESE office where we will provide services to the community in the Poinciana area rather than having them drive all the way over to Billbeck. And that is being renovated. That's what these photographs on slide 53 shows you. So this is the part where I'll go really quickly, but please interrupt me if you have to. Slide 54 is a slide that we showed the board during our presentation in March, but it showed the amount of work that we wanted to target for this summer over the 2 months breaks, the 2 months that we had, where students were not going to be in school. we were more successful than we weren't. Every single one of these projects were completed. Students had use of them first day of school. We came down to the wire on a few, but we made it work. And students didn't know the difference. Parents didn't know the difference. We were still able to have our open houses, have tours. All of it was done, and no one knew the difference. That's the work. That's how we're supposed to operate. No one should know that we exist, but get the benefits of it. So I'll take you through those really quickly. Alco, we replaced all of the HVAC systems in the entire facility. Bella Lago Academy had a new car loop built. We had basketball shot clocks that were installed at all of our traditional high schools. This is a new high school requirement for athletics, and so we were able to get that done. My first tryouts were yesterday, so we had no complaints. Canoe Creek K-8, the original buildings never had the HVAC replaced when we took over the facility. We fixed that this summer. We had some hot water work that was redone at Canoe Creek. It's really complicated on a school that's high efficiency. So we had to go back because we weren't getting the right temperatures at our cafeteria and kitchen, which are required by the Department of Health. We've corrected that. Celebration K-8, it's I think a $5 million HVAC renovation where we're replacing all of the air handlers. This is a phased project that is happening nights and weekends, and we're about 50% complete. Our plan is to be completed by early 2026. This isn't an operational school, so we go in, we work in the nights and weekends, and we get it done. Celebration K-8 was recabled as part of one of our IT projects for the year, and we installed HVAC systems in all of our IDF, MDF rooms. This was done before school, well, it was done about a week after school opened, but no one knew the difference. Already up and running, and we're closing the project out. Celebration K-8 Gym, we installed a new fire alarm system. Presentation is not keeping up with me, I'm sorry. ESC department over at Bill Beck, we replaced their HVAC system and we installed a new chiller system. We were fortunately able to move them out of the facility temporarily whilst we got the work done, so that helped with our schedule. Lakeview Elementary, Discovery Intermediate, and Horizon Middle Schools all have fire alarm replacement projects, 100% replacements that are being done. These are being phased, so we're working nights and weekends, and we've already completed 2 of those. The others should be completed in the next few weeks. Deerwood Elementary School had an entirely new parking lot built. We were able to pretty much tear up their old parking lot and build them a completely new one and restriped it and turned it over back to the school without interruption. Harmony Community School had an entirely new chiller plant built and replaced, and this included the chillers coming in. So it's not just the chiller plant, it's timing when the chiller gets delivered because of lead time, making sure that the pumps are there and that the contractors are there at the right time to do that work. So there are lots of moving pieces, and the team did a phenomenal job in pulling off all of these. And there were several like those. Kissimmee Elementary School, on slide 69, we gutted the entire kitchen and rebuilt it over the summer and turned it back over to the school with our new standards, new serving lines, new hood, new cooler freezers, new kitchen manager's office. Kissimmee Middle School, we installed a new marquee sign, digital marquee sign, which is our new standard. So every marquee sign that we replace across the district, this is going to be our new standard that we're going to use. The next one that we're going to do is Parkway Middle School, so we'll get that done sometime in the next few months. My presentation does not keep up. Liberty High School, we did some driveway work, and we restriped their parking lot in order to accommodate student traffic flow better. Lakeview Elementary School had new cooler freezers installed over the summer and turned back over to the school. Lakeview Elementary School is also being re-roofed at the same time. This is a phased project, and we got majority of the work done over the summer, and we're working on nights and weekends to get the rest of the roofing completed. We're very close to being done, so in the next few weeks, we should wrap this project up and turn it over back to the school. Just a few more photographs of that. New beginnings, we have an entirely new chiller plant that was installed over the summer. Neptune Elementary had a similar project, new chiller plant installed over the summer. Osceola Technical College and Simpson Road, we replaced all of the air handlers this summer and turned it back over to school without interruption. Poinciana High School is the largest HVAC project we have right now. It is about $15 million, and it's a phased renovation, so we did majority of the work that we, over this summer break, and we're continuing to work nights and weekends to wrap the project up. And our plan is to be done early next year. Poinciana High School has our new football school board that was installed over the summer and turned back over in time for football. This is our new standard, so this will be at high school AAA, and we're working to replace the one here at Gateway High School. That's going to be our next project. St. Cloud Elementary School, we had a new HVAC chiller plant installed. St. Cloud High School, we installed we doubled their outdoor dining space because of their growth in population. Thacker Avenue kitchen was renovated and turned back over to school over the summer. Zenith had a very complicated HVAC and roofing project done, as well as a restroom that was installed over the summer to allow our daycare program to be expanded to meet DCF requirements. And then the boardroom why you're here temporarily, I guess, is because we're working on it. It's expected to be wrapped up on the 7th of November, substantially complete. We will, however, have the November board meeting here at Gateway still, unfortunately, because we have state of the schools, and I want our folks to be trained on the new technology, making sure that the streaming is done right, cameras are used right, getting all of the right people in place to do the training. So the space will be available, but we will still keep the November board meeting here at Gateway High School, and then we'll move our first board meeting would be December back. So I could not stick to my deadline, I'm sorry. It was my deadline for me. Admin 1000, we're recabling that similar to what we did at Celebration K8, and this is happening nights and weekends, and it's almost wrapped up. Liberty High School, Poinciana, Gateway, and Celebration High School have new football stadium sound systems that have been installed, and this is our new standard, so we'll go around and install this in all of our traditional high schools. It work really well, and we can already see the difference, well, hear the difference, I guess. Safety and security, we wrapped up district-wide installing building numbers on all 4 sides of our buildings. Every building is numbered on all sides, and every classroom window, at least one, have the building number shown on it, and this is part of our safety and security requirements. So that's a pretty heavy lift over the summer. I know it's kind of very monotone there, but it's probably my 8th time doing this presentation. My apologies, but it is a ton of work that we've done, and we did it. I think the facilities department has 3 project managers. Joan keeps track of all of this, and Dr. Shanoff is right. This is not about me, it's our team, but it's not just that, it's our maintenance folks that show up to fix a front alarm, whether it's a front alarm or turn off something that we might have hit, and our contractors and our architects and engineers showing up and really doing the work. That's why we're able to do this. And this ties back into cutting down on our days of work order directly as part of our strategic plan, because these were projects that had significant issues, and we constantly had work orders put in by schools. And so as we can get these done, where we're spending the half-penny sales tax and hitting the items that are costing us the most money, you'll see that work order time goes down, where our folks can actually focus on preventive maintenance versus having to go do repairs. And that's where you see that. There are several projects that are upcoming, and I went through a few of those, but the most significant would be the Environmental Center Boardwalk. And we have some renderings for you. Slide 93 shows you, it's about 1,600 feet long. Our plan is, as we're reconstructing this, to really use it for our core business, which is education. So our plan is to build several outdoor classroom spaces and work with our county and city partners for them to offer services here as well. This is also part of one of the projects that Dr. Shanoff has asked for an allocation at the state level to be done for us to offset the costs. So just a few more renderings of that, and then I'll get right into real estate. Last 2 slides. We're looking at our school siting plan, our 5, 10, and 20-year plan. This is based on how we see growth. This is not set in stone. It is a working document. It is something that we constantly look at as we see, as FES rolls out, as charter schools open, as parents have more choices for their children to have education. We are constantly relooking at our numbers to make sure that we don't overbuild. And this is part of the strategic plan, again, where we're looking at how our schools are utilized to make sure that we utilize them as efficiently as possible so that we're not having a ton of extra space that costs us money to cool or to maintain, and that we're using it well. So you're looking at years 1 through 5, we're already in construction with at least one of those, which is high school AAA. And then our plan is, our numbers are showing that we'll potentially need two more K through 8 schools on the east side of St. Cloud. One of those schools is already designed. It should have been the Rome Bridge project that we have on the books. As soon as that is available, we will start construction on it. The budget's there, and we're waiting to move. And we are also working to mitigate properties to build these. So that's what the next slide is actually, is mitigated properties. It shows you the properties that we have an agreement to acquire. And our standard is usually if you come in with if a developer comes in with a development of homes of more than 750, we work with them to mitigate a school site, and then we determine whether it's an elementary, a K through 8, or a middle school, or just a high school. And so we have multiple agreements, 2 of which are owned by the district. We don't necessarily acquire these and then sit on the property. We wait until we actually need to build them. That's when our plan is to buy the piece of property and start building. So it is a good plan. It works for us. There are challenges with the process, but it works for us. And teams, Rhonda and her team, they do a phenomenal job with some of our lawyers to get these agreements worked out, which also come before the board for approval. Last slide shows you one of the things that we've been working on for the past few years, which is to drive down the amount of leased portables that we have in the district. Last year, we made significant strides, moving from 175 to 119, and this year we were able to drop to 84. The 27 that you're seeing in orange are the temporary portables at Osceola, which will go away this December. Those were just for swing space. Dropping from 119 portables to 84, the difference in cost is about $830,000 for the year just for rentals, not the install cost, not the removal cost, which are significant as well. But that alone cuts our rental costs by about $830,000. And again, that brings us back to the utilization part of our strategic plan, where our focus is on making sure that we're utilizing the core spaces, the actual building spaces we have really well, and not having to put portables in areas that we don't need. Portables are a temporary solution for us, not a permanent issue. And that is the last slide I have. I would like to end with saying that all of the work that I just showed you we're spending local taxpayers' dollars, whether it's impact fees to build new schools, quarter penny sales tax to build the transportation depots or our athletic facilities, and half penny sales tax to do our renovations, with the HVAC and roofing projects are all half penny sales tax funded. It goes a long way because facilities, public school facilities in the state of Florida, are primarily a local effort. And so for our community that voted for those taxes to be shared with the school board, we're grateful for it, and we hope that they see that we're doing a good job. We pay less than any other school district. Our books are open. We get audited for every project over $2 million. We just got the report from an operational audit from the Auditor General's office. The facilities department was audited with no comments. And we are getting ready for an RSM audit, which is pretty much a pickup from about 4 years ago when they audited facilities. Like, they're just checking back. That just tells me that we're doing a good job with a very small team as efficiently as possible. And I'm grateful for our team pulling off the work that they do. So we didn't do all of this without making mistakes. We didn't do all of this perfectly and as seamlessly as I just told you. But we've adopted the mentality of progress over perfection. Our job is to educate students, and our focus is getting students into classroom spaces, and then we work out the issues that we have. Our whole thought process is to not interrupt the education process at all, and that is our sole focus. That's all I had, sir.
Thanks, Mr. Sharma. In a lot of places, you could encounter facilities teams that will say that the school district is a construction company that happens to do student achievement. Thankfully, we have a facilities team that understands that the core business is educating kids, and that's what they're focused on. So this is a lot of information and a lot of projects that are occurring simultaneously. And the team is not very big. So if you think about how large, at least monetarily, our organization is, and understand that about half of that is tied up into the design and construction maintenance of those buildings, I think it's pretty phenomenal, the work that's able to get accomplished within the timelines that have been established. I have had builders say to me that it is a joy to do business with our district because of how easy it is to work with the team that we have here in Osceola. We don't, by the way, that I've seen Dave be very insistent in meetings. I have seen him be animated in meetings, holding contractors accountable to timelines and also to cost. And I think that the school board and the public should feel very comfortable knowing that our facilities team is being led by Mr. Sharma on his side, and then Mr. Noble on the maintenance side. So what's happening in maintenance right now is equally good, and how they have been able to really put a focus and a priority around customer service, and that really does permeate from Mr. West on down. It really does start with Mr. Noble to Mr. West on down. So I just think that side of the organization is really working at a fantastic cadence. And I think that part of the reason why they're doing so well is because they don't settle for where they're at. They're constantly looking to improve. So very proud of the work that's happening. Thank you, and to your team for a great presentation. Madam Chair.
Any further questions, comments? All right, thank you. This workshop is adjourned.